Welcome to ShiftWatch. I'm your host, Starbuck. In this episode, NOAA and NASA this week announced their declaration that we've achieved sunspot maximum. To be clear, the duration of this activity will linger there for a while as we understand it. The expectation is that sunspot maximum and that this level of activity will last through 2026. Here is an update from the EarthMaster. Next, here are reports of some recent studies demonstrating the effects of solar activity hitting Earth and the physical effects being felt by humans, thanks to Ben at Suspicious Observers. And finally, recently I've had some family come around and share their experiences around connecting to things greater than themselves. Mindfulness and meditation seem to be the starting point in this particular case. So here is an excellent narrative having to do with connecting to consciousness. This is from Philosophical Essence.
Space weather activity. It looks like a little bit of M-flare movement happening right now. Little low-grade M-flare. M1.7. Oh, I'll take that back. M2.4. It looks like it was up there a little bit. There we go. M2.4. Very impulsive event. That's got to be from one of these sun or the Earth-facing sunspots here. Let's see what we have for the latest image. The active region is starting to shift over here towards the western limb. So this area of concern will be out of sight, out of mind soon enough. This area is starting to develop a little bit more. Now, NASA put out, let's see if he mentioned this or not. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm glad Kevin mentioned it here on solarham.com because I don't have the link that Timothy sent me. So, NOAA and the NASA announced that solar cycle 25 has officially reached solar maximum. So the next year or so should see some of the highest sunspot and solar flare activity of the current solar cycle. There's the full story here. You know, it's been fairly active in terms of sunspots and CMEs here recently. There's a couple different YouTube videos there if you guys want to check that out. I'll leave this link here in the description of this update video. But yeah, we're definitely above the predicted values. So I guess we're at the peak. So is it supposed to go down from here? I mean, it's supposed to still be a little bit active, but they officially announced the peak of it. If I remember right, the peak was not supposed to be until next year sometime. So it looks like we're a year early. It's supposed to be June 2025 was the solar maximum peak. But looks like they went with the decision to announce that it is right about now. All right, so anyway, we'll watch this sunspot area that's currently facing the Earth, 3856. Notice the complexity has popped up here a little bit stronger in terms of the color differences, indicating that magnetic complexity. Aside from that, this area is heading off to the west. Not a whole lot here in the eastern limb yet, but that should change here pretty soon. This is going to be the 16th. It looks like a newer active region here, just about ready to crest the eastern limb. But I want to see what this one looks like here. We'll see that within a week. 3842, 3844. And see if we don't start getting some more further elevated activity. And no telling how many times these sunspots have come around and gone around the sun. You know, they get renamed every time they come around the eastern limb. These could be sunspots from months ago. I noticed that these sunspots go through little cycles and series. They die down, they amplify up, they almost dissipate, and then they pop up again, you know, but it's technically the same sunspot. So, a new name for an old sunspot. We'll have to watch those as they come back around the bend. 20% chance for X flare. It looks like elevated here. 80% for M flare. C flare around 99% chance or so. Nothing major in the aurora forecast. And there's a beautiful bright moon out there this evening.
You may have heard the announcement from NASA and NOAA this week that we have officially hit sunspot maximum, something that frankly was true months ago. But now they have declared it, meaning the sun's magnetic fields have reversed. And that is indeed what the data shows us. We still have another year of sunspot maximum and then the geomagnetic maximum in the 1 to 2 years after that. Very soon we should be seeing the reversed polarity sunspots that indicate the declining trend beginning in the cycle, even though they will still be quite active for a while. Good morning, folks. We've got 2 key studies to hit today on biological implications of space weather and magnetic activity. The SDO satellite performed a calibration roll overnight, so to better gauge solar activity over the last day, we'll be using the GOES SUVI for diagnostic purposes. There were a few more M-class solar flares and a plasma filament that released on the north, but all appear to be very minor, with some appearing not to even break out of the corona at all. If the coronal whole solar wind, it will reach us in the next 48 hours. But SOHO is showing what appears to be a halo CME. However, stereo is indicating that this is actually off the far side and is heading in the opposite direction from the Earth. The Earth side flaring did not produce significant CME activity, but we'll have to keep watching for more flares because these sunspots are developed and still morphing a good bit. We'll have eyes on them. Let's take a quick peek at the winter forecast from the Weather Channel for the United States. Interesting that this doesn't exactly match the La Nina pattern expectations, which is almost certainly coming to a peak here in the winter months of the Northern Hemisphere, but this is what they're expecting. First on deck today in the journals is this one, a preprint dealing with the detection of cellular process modification by the presence or absence of a magnetic field. They found significant impacts, as has been the case for various studies that came before, and whether it's a solar storm or the changes to Earth's magnetic field, it plays a critical role in cellular processes. The second article is this one, the impact of increased solar activity on the body's B12 and folate levels. The hypothesis is that it's somehow related to changes in ultraviolet light or the electromagnetic environment, but whatever the hand is in play here, the end result is quite clear. And yes, folks, I would expect amplification of those depletions as Earth's magnetic field weakens in the ongoing geomagnetic excursion. We've also got a bit of space weather to report, so let's start there with the last 24 hours on our star. Minor M-class solar flares from the remaining sizable sunspot group, small coronal hole on the north, and lots of plasma filaments pretty much everywhere you look on the disk. We are monitoring those for eruptive activity first and foremost today, and while we're still eyeing the sunspots for solar flares as well, they have produced only smaller ones so far, and they are heading for the limb towards the far side now. Coming to Earth, there was a very minor discontinuity in the solar wind yesterday, nothing major, just a shift in the physical and magnetic characteristics. It's brought the KP index back up off the floor of geomagnetic calm, but only a bit. No geomagnetic storm conditions have been reached. First up in today's articles is this, about the 1,000th paper on why we don't need to use dark matter for galactic rotation curve reconciliation. Baryons are normal matter like plasma, protons, gases, dust constituents, and when fully accounted for, you don't really need much else to explain the observed dynamics. The top story today hits the galactic magnetic field, which we discuss quite a bit here, the toroidal and poloidal forms in the central plane fields, which form a Parker instability and end up as a waveform, the galactic current sheet, separating the north and south galactic magnetic fields, which are shown to be present as a cyclic reversal of the north and south fields within the plane. Well, now they have also attempted to look at the spiraling plane fields and have already found another magnetic reversal on their very first try. Arrows show the field direction. While this is not the same as the galactic electric wave, it does present another element of complexity to the galactic magnetism, once again turning out that the magnetic reversal aspect is much more relevant than most astronomers had realized in the past. 2 quick notes to end here. First, we'd love to see you
Remember the 0-point field we talked about? that infinite sea of energy you're connected to. When you tap into that, you're accessing the source code of reality itself. But how do you actually do this? Start by paying attention to your thoughts. Notice the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. Close your eyes and visualize this belief as a line of code in your mind. Now imagine deleting it and replacing it with a new, empowering belief. Feel the shift in your energy as you do this. This might feel strange at first. Your ego, conditioned by years of limiting beliefs, might resist. That's okay. Remember, growth happens at the edge of discomfort. Keep practicing, and you'll start to see changes in your life that reflect your new program and just changing your thoughts. It's about recognizing your role as a co-creator of reality. You're not just a passive observer in this cosmic drama. You're an active participant, shaping the universe with every thought and intention. As you align your thoughts with your divine nature, you're allowing that universal energy to flow through you, manifesting your desires in ways you might never have imagined. This isn't about forcing outcomes or trying to control everything in your life. It's about setting clear intentions and then surrendering to the wisdom of the universe. Trust that the energy you put out will come back to you in perfect alignment with your highest good. As you rewrite your personal reality code, you're not just changing your individual experience. Remember, we're all connected through the 0-point field. Your shift in consciousness ripples out, affecting the collective reality we all share. Imagine the possibilities if more people understood this truth. If we all recognized our power as co-creators, how might that change the world? It's not just about manifesting personal desires. It's about collectively programming a reality of peace, abundance, and harmony for all. But it starts with you. Right here, right now. Every thought, every belief, every expectation is a line of code in the program of your life. What will you choose to write? You're not just writing code, you're crafting a legend. But most people never realize they're the protagonist in their own hero's journey. What if the challenges you face aren't random, cruel twists of fate, but carefully placed plot points in your cosmic story arc? Think about it. Every obstacle, every setback, every moment of doubt, they're all part of your character development. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're the hero of an epic tale, and it's time you started acting like one. It's a powerful framework for understanding your life's journey, rooted in both ancient wisdom and modern psychology. Joseph Campbell called it the hero's journey, and it's a pattern that shows up in myths and stories across cultures and throughout history. But here's the divine part. It's not just a storytelling device. It's a map for your own spiritual evolution. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to tap into your divine nature, to remember who you really are. Remember how we talked about rewriting your reality code? This is the next level. Instead of just changing individual beliefs, you're reframing your entire life story. You're not just a character in this drama, you're the author, the director, and the star. So how do you start living like the hero you are? First, recognize that every difficulty is a call to adventure. That promotion you didn't get, that relationship that ended, they're not failures, they're plot twists, pushing you towards your true path. When faced with a challenge, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me about my divine nature?" This simple shift in perspective can transform a moment of crisis into a catalyst for growth. But here's where most people get stuck. They understand the concept intellectually, but they struggle to apply it when things get tough. That's because we're conditioned to view challenges as threats, not opportunities. It takes practice to rewire this response. Try this. Next time you're facing a difficult situation, take a step back. Imagine you're watching your life as a movie. What would the hero do in this scene? How would they respond from a place of courage, wisdom, and universal consciousness? This isn't about denying your emotions or pretending everything's perfect. It's about recognizing that you have a choice in how you respond to life's challenges. You can play the victim, or you can step into your power as the hero. Remember, in every great story, the hero faces trials and setbacks. These aren't random. They're specifically designed to help the hero discover their true strength and purpose. Your life is no different. Those obstacles aren't there to break you. They're there to make you. As you start to view your life through this lens, something remarkable happens. You stop feeling at the mercy of external circumstances. You start to see the bigger picture, the grand design behind your journey. You realize that you're not just stumbling through life. You're on a sacred quest of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. This shift in perspective doesn't just change how you view your problems. It changes how you view yourself. You start to recognize your own divinity, your connection to the universal consciousness we've been talking about. You realize that you're not just a small, limited human being. You're a powerful spiritual entity having a human experience. Your hero's journey isn't just about you. As you overcome your challenges and step into your power, you're contributing to something much bigger. You're playing a crucial role in the evolution of collective consciousness. Think about it. Every time you choose courage over fear, love over hate, understanding over judgment, you're not just changing your own story, you're changing the story of humanity. You're raising the vibration of the entire planet. Think your spiritual journey is a solo adventure. Think again. Every step you take on your path to awakening sends shockwaves through the universe. But here's the kicker. You're not the only one creating waves. Your personal growth isn't just about you. You're part of something much bigger, a cosmic dance of consciousness that's evolving with every breath you take. Remember how we talked about the 0-point field, that invisible energy connecting everything? Well, it's not just connecting, it's communicating. Every thought, every action, every moment of growth ripples out into this field, influencing the entire fabric of reality. You're not just changing yourself, you're changing the world. This isn't just some feel-good idea, it's backed by cutting-edge science and ancient wisdom alike. Quantum entanglement shows us that particles can be instantly connected across vast distances. Now, imagine that on a cosmic scale. Your consciousness isn't isolated, it's entangled with the entire universe. But what does this mean for you? Right here, right now. It means your personal awakening is part of a much larger story. As you grow, as you expand your consciousness, you're contributing to the evolution of humanity as a whole. You're not just a drop in the ocean, you're a wave influencing the entire sea. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how one person's mood can affect an entire room? That's this principle in action, but on a much smaller scale. Now, imagine that amplified across the entire planet. Your shift in consciousness, your moments of insight and growth, they're all rippling out, touching lives you may never even meet. Craig Hamilton, a pioneer in collective awakening, says, "There are dimensions of self that a person might never experience on their own. This means that as we grow together, we unlock potentials that we couldn't access alone. Your personal journey isn't just about you, it's about all of us. The truth is, every great movement, every shift in human consciousness, started with individuals just like you, making a choice to grow. Ask yourself, how would you live differently if you knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that your personal growth was crucial to the evolution of humanity? Would you still hit the snooze button on your meditation practice? Would you still avoid those difficult conversations that lead to growth? This isn't about pressure, it's about possibility. It's about recognizing that you're part of something magnificent, a cosmic unfolding that's been billions of years in the making. Your life, your growth, your awakening, it all matters more than you can possibly imagine. But don't just take my word for it. Start paying attention to the synchronicities in your life. Those moments when you have a breakthrough and suddenly see it reflected in the world around you. That's not coincidence. That's the universe responding to your expanded consciousness. This isn't about taking on the weight of the world. It's about recognizing your role in the grand cosmic design. Every act of kindness, every moment of self-reflection, every choice to grow instead of shrink, it all adds up. You're not just living your life, you're co-creating the future of humanity. You've got the power to bend reality, but chances are you're using it unconsciously. Like a toddler with a loaded gun, you're firing off reality-shaping thoughts without even realizing it. What if you could aim that power with pinpoint precision? It's time to wake up to your role as a universal co-creator. Remember how we talked about consciousness shaping reality at the quantum level? Well, it's not just happening in labs, it's happening right now in your life. Every thought, every belief, every expectation is like a brushstroke on the cosmic canvas. You're not just observing the universe, you're actively creating it. But here's the thing, most people are painting blindfolded. They're co-creating their reality without even realizing it. Imagine the masterpiece you could create if you took off that blindfold and started painting consciously. This isn't just some feel-good metaphor. It's backed by both ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science. The zero-point field we discussed, it's not just connecting everything. It's responding to your consciousness. Your thoughts and intentions are literally shaping the fabric of reality. So how do you start wielding this power consciously? It starts with recognizing your true nature. You're not just a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience. When you align with this truth, you tap into the infinite potential of the universe.